listening to the radio, reading the papers, with varieties of speculations, to include being tight-lipped on rumors that appeared in the Liberian media yesterday. My own as an adult, I decided to support the re-election bid of President Weah. And in my declaration in supporting Mr. Weah, there was no precondition set. I have my own reasons why I'm supporting him. Those reasons still remain, and there are no preconditions. So whoever Mr. Weah chooses to put on his campaign team, it's not my prerogative to decide or to take to the campaign team. There may be others as well in the CDC or other places that may have problems with me too, and I wouldn't expect them to leave because I'm included. I may have an option if your information or speculation is right. Maybe if there's someone in the campaign that I feel we should not be in the same room and they're around, I will excuse them. But that would not make me to jump ship or to divorce myself from Mr. Weah's campaign. I still enjoy the confidence of the president. So I'm still a member of his campaign team, and I will still be actively involved with his re-election bid in the Western region.
We've been in the midst of all the rumors yesterday. You quote unquote switch off your phones because of numerous calls. Have you put it back on, and why did you, since in fact there was no such decision taken by you as it was rumors?
Well, maybe you misconstrued me yesterday when we spoke. If you do recall, I attended a major public hearing yesterday, and during the hearing, there were a lot of calls coming because of the same rumor. And I was playing a very active role in that public hearing as regards the Fowani agreement. So it was only right that I'm attending a public hearing that I had interest in to switch off my phone to attend the hearing. And after that, I turned my phone.
Have you spoken to the president?
Definitely. As a matter of fact, it was the president I was talking to just now when I walked outside. When you saw me just now, it was the president I talked to. The president asked me regularly. We spoke yesterday, we spoke this morning, we had breakfast, we spoke to this afternoon just now. So the president and I have a very good relationship, very, very good relationship, and there's nothing at all, there's no beef between the president and I, nor beef between any member of the campaign team and I. If I so desire not to sit in the same room with any particular person that has joined or that will join the campaign team, it's my prerogative. But I will not disassociate myself from them.
Yeah, Senator, my name is Yanti Togba, report for KFN. Well, basically, in recent days or so, a lot of people's video has been circulating on social media showing how tough you've been of late. The latest of all has been the County Social Development Fund, for which you spoke tough on it. And then on yesterday again, you were concerned about the incentive agreement that was sent forth by the president. And people have been concerned that when did you realize that some of these things weren't good, that now you are speaking on it? How do you respond to some of these assertions?
That's a normal question people always ask politicians: why now, why this, why that? There's no right time, there's no wrong time to do the right thing. I believe that as a member of the legislature, I've been here since 2005. I've always had a strong stance on issues of national concern. Maybe because every issue that I've come, I've not spoken that way. So, but check my record. I mean, some of you are young journalists. Some of you have not really covered the legislature. You may not know my track record. I see Bokari is here, I see Zuba is here, even Henry is here, I see Deborah behind there. So I see people here that have covered the legislature and know my stance I've taken in this legislature over the years. So it's not new, but again, some people have not really followed, so they think it's new, but it's not new. When there's something good, I will say it. When it's bad, I will say it. And if I don't speak, it doesn't mean that I'm for or against. It's just maybe I'm not ready to speak or I don't have the necessary information yet. But I will always remain strong on national issues. And maybe if you need to hear us more, you will hear us more, but we'll remain very strong in representing. This job is a difficult job. When you come here to represent people, you have to take into account that it's not about your personal interests, it's about the people that you represent. And sometimes when we come down tough, it's not personal. We don't have personal issues with people, but we'll have the interest of the people that we represent. And if we have not done it to your satisfaction over the period, we'll try to up our game to make sure we do it properly.
Yes, yes. I mean, you promised at the beginning of this whole exercise to deliver Western Liberia or Bomi to President Weah. Are you still committed to this?
Well, fortunately, the election has gone to a runoff on the 14th of November. As you know, the election was very competitive. It was not a walk through the park election. It was a very competitive election. Now there are two candidates in the election with whatever gaps that we did not fill up in the first round that gave us, maybe I would say, bloody nose, for lack of a better word of being a politician in the first round. We'll make sure that we correct those gaps and make a comeback in the runoff.
Yeah. You among the few Liberians that had the opportunity to enter into politics at a very early age. But yesterday, your appearance and your movement, your activities speak, there was something wrong somewhere. Probably you may not say in the public in terms of the 2023 election. Despite that, why do you think slipped between your fingers that you did not get the kind of vote that you anticipated for the re-election? And what are the measures now you think that you need to erase? What are the checkpoints that you need to erase that probably could help you? Or you think the challenges of the current administration is so huge that people are not accepting your message?
No, I don't think so. I think it's quite simple. There was one thing that we didn't catch in the first round. I think it's just easy to catch in the second round. When we campaigned in the first round of the election, we campaigned in Bomi County through the length of birth and breadth of the county. We forgot that there were approximately 7,000 to 10,000 voters that were trucked into Bomi from the Broadway community and other communities. And we did not target those truck voters. And we worked with the people of Bomi County. At the end of the day, 2 days to the election day, we saw a different Bomi than the one we knew. And we were caught with our pens down. So we're going to correct it. Like I said, go and look at the results in Bomi. Check the records. You are from Liberia. There's one person who took part in the senatorial election in Bomi that did not truck one human being in Bomi, and that was Mr. Subudoli. He was in America. He came down for the campaign, did not truck. Everyone have that record. Mr. Dole, who we endorsed 1 week to the election, had about 15,000 votes. President Weah also had the same 15,000 votes. So it tells you that Mr. Dole, who we work with on the ground to lobby and mobilize the support of the city, Mr. Dole came first in Senja district in the senatorial election. He defeated all the candidates in top number in Senja where I'm based. He came first in Clay district. He came second in Dewan district. He came second in Swemaka district and came second in Tier district. He was consistent throughout the election. There was one place that the senator-elect won. It was in Tier district. And again, like I said, we did not factor in those thousands of voters that were trucked into Bomi County. So I know the people of Bomi spoke. They spoke very well. Unfortunately, because our strategy did not target those that were trucked into Bomi, we were caught with our pens down. But rest assured that in the second round, we will make a comeback, and it will be a huge comeback.
Also, my name is Emmanuel to a report for Cool FM. I'm concerned. What are some of the difficulties you're experiencing in the re-election of President Weah as you go out, sending out the messages?
Well, if there are difficulties, I won't share it with you because then we'll be giving the opposition my strategy. But I can tell you that the election is competitive. It's not a walk in the park. It's a very competitive election. But what this election has taught Liberians is that the country is divided. And anyone winning the election, preferably Mr. Weah, will now have to go back to the drawing board and have a government of inclusion, where Liberians from all walks of life will be a part of this national cake, that we all can break bread together and we work in the interest of this country. Yes, you can see it. I mean, the whole belt from Lofa coming down to Bapolu, then Bomi, then Cape Mount, all the way into Monserrado went green. You know, then Lofa, of course, like I said, and then Nimba also went green. The entire southeast, Basel, Bong, other areas went blue. So it tells you how split. And for the election that had a very huge turnout, and the margin came to 43 apiece, you know, it tells you that it was a very competitive election. And anyone winning this election will have to now re-strategize a way forward for national unity.
Senator, what do you make of the inclusion of Henry Costa on the Weah campaign? Is it a plus for President Weah or a minus? My second question is, have you called the Senator-elect Tyler to tell him congratulations?
Your second question
Senator, a follow-up to that, do you think it's timely?
What?
Endorsement of by Costa.
Okay, so I will start with your second question. Mr. Tyler and I, we're not enemies. I don't have any personal problem with Tyler. We have political divergence. He's on another political side, I'm on another political side, but there's nothing personal.
Have you called him?
I'm coming, sir. Mr. Tyler was announced. As a matter of fact, before he was announced by NEC, when we got all the results and it was glaring that he had won the election, I sent him a text and a place a call. And we both spoke and I congratulated Mr. Tyler. And I look forward to working with him in the interest of Bomi County. As regards Mr. Henry Costa, no comment.
Yeah, there's the rumors for speculating that you will be leaving Bomi County to go to Vancouver. What's the true story?
So that again?
You will be leaving Bomi County to go to Vancouver.
To do what? to live? To run? To protect?
To live again, contest.
No, I don't. There's no, I don't even understand the question, so it's difficult.
So my name is Henson Dega, and we have 3 days to the November 14th election. So I'm a bit concerned as it relates to ensuring that the CDC gets more voters. At this time, it seems to be more critical. You're doing a section where you're speaking on critical national issues like the Western Cluster, the issue that has to do with the social development fund for the county. Don't you think speaking against those things or raising those concerns at this time would say, could be misinterpreted by the citizen? That when did you get to know that the citizens of Western Liberia are going through these challenges?
Like I said previously in another question, I've always had critical issues, critical views on national issues. Maybe we don't have a catalog to say, okay, this one you didn't speak much, that one you spoke less, this one you spoke more. But I've always had critical views on national issues. And because I'm campaigning and supporting the CDC, doesn't mean that I should not speak for the people. And I think the stronger I speak for the people, the more confident people will have to follow my views. So I think for my side, I think it's the right decision, it's the right thing I'm doing. I represent people. I don't represent trees and water and creeks. I represent human beings. So they have flesh and blood. When their interest is not protected, no matter who, we speak against it. That's one reason, that's one thing President Weah stands up for. And he and our friendship is unique. Because when we disagree, we talk about it. You know, sometimes the president and I share text messages 2, 3 in the morning. We talk 2, 3 in the morning, and we have major disagreements sometimes. We disagree. I will convince him, he will convince me, but that's the value of the friendship. That's the substance of the friendship. And I was one of those. I would just say this much to you. I was one of those that always encouraged Mr. Weah, for example, to incorporate his former teammates, the national team players. You know. When I did not see them on the same side with him, I encourage him. I encourage him to bring everybody on board. So when I encourage you to bring people on board, you bring people on board, then I can't run from there. I mean, it's not in line with your direct question. It's a general view. But again, I'm open to working with anybody. The result from the first round of the election in the Western region wasn't favorable, but fortunately we came up on top in the first round, and we want to do better or do more to come up better in the second round. And again, speaking on critical national issue, has always been a part of me. Always been a part of me. I think one of the reasons why I even lost the speakership at a young age, I don't know if you were born that time. One reason why I lost the speakership, many years ago was because of my critical stance on national issue, and the then president saw me as being unreasonably opposing to things, and it cost me the speakership, which I have no regret of. I'm still here today in the legislature, and I'll continue to play tough national roles on the right thing for the people of Liberia.
Finally, from me, Uncle Snow, did you at any time send a text message or a communication to the president about your disappointment on the inclusion of Henry Costa?
Text message between me and the president, or me and anybody is personal. The issue of Henry Costa and the campaign team, I absolutely have no comment.
He has said sorry to you and all others in the CDC. Do you accept?
Who says sorry?
Henry Costa for all his own.
I'm not a member of the CDC.
No, but you support the.
I support President Weah re-election. I'm not a member of the CDC. I'm not a CDC. I support the president re-election.
If he calls you today, will you pick up?
Who?
Henry Costa.
Even when Costa was seeing the worst of me, ask him. I answer anyone.
Okay.
Henry, come on, even when you read basketball, when you call me, I talk to you. I don't know, my politics is different, and that's why sometimes people misconstrue me. People ask Costa, he will tell you. When he said the worst things about me, when he called me, I still answer, he sent me text, I still respond to him. I don't know how to keep speech in politics. The person that won't speak to me and it will bother me, maybe my children, my wife, my mother, but anyone else is politics. We don't have to, there's no legislation to make you love another man. We all entitled to our views. I can't pass a law to make you accept me or I accept you, but we have a law to be cordial to each other. So I don't have any personal problem with anyone. There are people in the CDC that may not even want me on the campaign team, but I'm there. So my views should not obstruct the re-election bid of Mr. Weah for any reason.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you as always.